And we got a viewer question from Chad in Houston, Texas. He wrote, what are some things you do to maintain a good work-family life balance when raising multiple kids and both parents work full-time? I mean, you have multiple kids, both you and your wife work full-time. I mean, how do you do it?
Well, Pedro, you wanna take a stab at this one?
So I can't relate to the multiple kids, but I can relate to a kid that acts like she's multiple. I was up at 4:00 this morning with her, and that wasn't a wake up. That was we never went to bed.
Oh,
but anyways, so work-life balance. I mean, like I'd mentioned early on, going into business for myself, that was, me and my wife talk about all the time. I think she likes it about me. I've always planned for the future, right? I always thought about what's next, enjoy the moment, but be prepared for what's next.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we were living downtown at the time, 2017, in a high rise, beautiful, right? And out of nowhere, we were sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings on West Gray. And I told my wife, we love wings across the board, right?
Yeah, right.
We were at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I told my wife, like, hey, there's a few houses about 30 minutes from where we are now in a nice suburb. I think it's time to make the suburban change. Mm-hmm. And she was like, why? It's just you and I. Life is great. I'm like, yeah, but we got to think about when the kid comes, when we do have a kid. Yep. We want our kid to be in a good, safe environment. Let's be ahead of the curve. Let's not get the news and then say, oh shit, now what? Right. We're like, let's catch up to the curve. Right. So we made the move early, getting prepared for it. So in my mind, when I was in business for myself early on, like I said, I was with Ariel the whole time. I was thinking future. Yep. I don't want to miss a birthday. I don't want to miss an event. I don't want to miss playing at the park that they have at their school today. Right. I don't want to miss these things, right? So let me put myself in the position ahead of the curve to be ready. So I was fortunate enough to have the business going. I was like 7 years in before Grace came along. So I was always able to, at that point, say, let me decide what the priorities are. Right. Let me decide what event is non-negotiable, what situation I have to be there for, which one's okay. Ariel, you got this one, right? So just doing that, it gave me the freedom to have the flexibility for the work-life balance. So we don't ever really have to discuss like, hey, I need a little bit less from you at work. I need you here a little bit more because, I read the room. If I'm needed, I'm needed. I'm able to do that. Right. Fortunate enough to be in that situation. And she does work full time. We're both full time, but we are able to, we don't miss anything. We're there for everything. So I was able to plan ahead for that. And it's worked out great. Yeah. So like I said, it's panned out very well for us. I mean,
yeah.
How about you?
You know what, for me, I mean, like you, we only have one kid, but me and my wife, we both work full time, and it's a lot. I mean, by the time we drop off Sarah, we're rushing to work. We get to work, we do our 8 hours, rush into, daycare or school, get Sarah, feed her dinner, spend, maybe an hour with her, take her to give her bed, go to bed, and then maybe spend an hour, 30, 40 minutes, maybe just me and her watching some TV, talking, doing what we're doing, shower, go to bed. So Monday through Friday, we kind of figure that Monday through Friday, that's just how it is. Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, that's when we spend family time, family time. We do events, we bring you guys, hey, what do you guys want to do? Make sure she still has her friends connected if you guys can, or we go do something else. We make sure that weekends we're out and about. We're doing something. Like tomorrow, we're going to go to the rodeo, first time here in Houston. We've never been. So we're always trying to find something to do where we're spending that whole day with her, whole day with me and her. And, me and Eliza, we try to find date nights to have a babysitter to come in and watch Sarah and just, go enjoy times with ourselves. Not as much as I would want to, but, that's the sacrifices that happen sometimes when you have a kid. Yeah. And so you just have to work around it. I'll try to, throw a little date nights at home when I can, not doesn't happen as much as I want to, but, we try. So you just have to find that work-life balance and still accomplish everything you need to accomplish, from spending time with your wife, making sure you're okay mentally and physically. And, obviously make sure your daughter has enough time and your kid has enough time to, entertain and have fun and laugh and see the world that we live in. So
for sure. Yeah. So I think the key on this one, and this one, it's a little easier for both of you, is just that one kid,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a multi-kid thing here, and it depends on what their age gaps are, and as ours, the 4, 2-year-old, all that stuff, they're a little easier at this point because they're not really into everything.
Right.
It's like once you start getting older, like Matt was, he was into everything, right? I mean, we had him in everything. At least once, right? Baseball, whatever sport, soccer, all the different things, until he found one he liked. If your kid's really active, you're really going to be struggling.
Right.
I mean, because that means, who's taking them to practice, who's picking them up from practice, who's going to the games, when you're going to the games. And when you're talking about two parents that are both working, that's a struggle.
Yeah.
And that was just with one kid, and now obviously I'm going to have, yes, I have 3. One's in college, so I don't really have to worry about him too much or whatever. Right. So, but whenever the other 2 start getting into those activity times, it's going to be a real struggle. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, like the things that really do kind of help. And actually I learned this with, the previous box of cereal and Matt, since we weren't in the same household, is shared calendars. And that's going to work in the same household. Yep. It's just make sure you're sharing that calendar. You make sure you put all those events in there, because if you and your wife, I mean, you don't work together, if you're not in the same building and you're working at different times and you have different schedules, I mean, it's like for instance, me and my wife, right? I mean, I go into work. I'm at work at 6 a.m, not because I want to, but it means I could get off earlier. Right. Now, my wife actually takes them, so she has to deal with them in the morning, getting them ready and all that other stuff.
Yeah, we see that when we drop off our daughter. Yeah.
And mad props to her, because she's trying to get herself ready and 2 kids ready and get them to school. Yeah. So she drops them off. We all, I mean, the responsibility, luckily my 21-year-old helps with picking him up, taking care of him when he can. And if not, it's me or my wife doing it. And it's tag team, man. I promise you, it's not one responsibility on one person. It's, we do everything the same. I mean, if she can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, she can do it. It's just
that's right. Right.
So, whenever you're starting to get older and you're starting, the kids are getting older and you're starting to try to figure all that out, it's make sure that don't put it on one parent. It's easier for you. That's fine. It's easier for you. The kid's going to see it a little bit different.
That's right. That's right.
So you want to make sure you're taking that time. Work's important, but it's not that important that you're going to be missing your kids' stuff, right? Yep. It's not like, a lot of times, unfortunately, like me, when I was going through with Matt, it's always moms normally, always there. Moms are always there. Dads, yeah, sometimes, but moms for sure, they're always there. It should be, dads need to be there too.
That's right.
And the thing about it is, like, for me, it's, I'm going to be there as much as I can, even with the other parent there, right? I mean, I want to see it. I want to experience it. I want to cheer them on. I want to make sure that they know I'm there to support them in every which way.
And you want your kid to see y'all there.
Right, exactly.
They'll see that. They'll remember it.
Exactly. So, I mean, again, shared calendar, and as far as, when you're home and, it's like, like that whole cooking thing I asked the other day, does she cook with your wife? Because, I mean, that's a normal time. And if you're just shunning your kid to the other room, let me cook or whatever. So, well, you don't get that time with them, and they don't get that time with you. So it's like, let them be involved in, the normal day-to-day activities. So it's like, you're always kind of bonding with your kids. I'll tell you, like, that's, again, because of my upbringing, I wanted to make sure I was always bonding with my kid, my eldest. Now it's like the same with the other ones. Right. It's like everything I can do, if I can involve the kids, yes, it's probably going to take longer. It's not going to be as quick,
right. I'm still learning that. It takes patience.
It's patient. It's a lot of patience. So, but again, it's making sure that you're always trying to be there for your kids. It is going to be a struggle. You're not going to always be able to do it. That's why you need your partner to be on the same page, and don't put everything on your partner one way or another. You guys are a team, and work as a team.
That's amazing, man. I like that. I like that answer. Well, thank you, Chad, for that question. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, Chad.
And,
thanks, Chad.